Sergeant Mara Vance kicked the throne bunker's blast door wide. Hinges groaned under the strain. Her scorched armor smoked faintly, black streaks crisscrossing the chest plate like claw marks. Fresh scars peeked from rents in her sleeves, red welts from plasma burns that still oozed. She marched straight down the chamber's central aisle. Alien courtiers in iridescent robes parted like water. Boots echoed off vaulted stone walls etched with glowing runes. Queen Elira Sale loomed on her elevated throne, multifaceted eyes narrowing from beneath a crown of crystal spines. The air hummed with tension, thick as bunker exhaust. Mara halted 5 paces from the dais. She snapped to attention, shoulders squared, chin up, no flinch, no sway. Silence crashed over the room. Whispers died. A dozen palace guards gripped their energy lances tighter. Commander Runtel, their broad-shouldered leader, stepped forward, his scaled face twisting in doubt. Queen Elira leaned forward. Her voice sliced the quiet, precise as a vibro blade. Sergeant Vance, reports claim you took direct fire from a Scarvex ambush. Remove your plating. Display the toll. Mara's gloved hands moved without pause. Clasps hissed open. Chest plate clattered to the floor, revealing a torso wrapped in blood-crusted bandages, ribs bruised purple. A gash across her abdomen wept clear fluid. She peeled back the sleeve on her left arm. 3rd-degree burns bubbled there, skin split like overripe fruit. Courtiers gasped. Rune's mandibles clicked. Fractured left clavicle, Mara said. Voice steady. 3 cracked ribs. Plasma scoring on 40% of epidermis. Shrapnel in the right thigh. Dug most out myself. She twisted to show the leg, pants torn open. Muscle twitched under embedded metal flex. Pain blockers expired 6 hours ago. Elira's antennae quivered. You require treatment. Medic. Lieutenant J. Holt pushed through from the rear, medkit slung over his shoulder. His fatigues matched Mara's. Stained, writ. She's combat effective, Your Majesty. Patch the worst en route. Sign the oath first, Elira commanded. A holographic scroll shimmered into view above a pedestal. Bind yourself to my protection. No quarter until I release you. Mara gripped the stylus. No hesitation. She scrawled her name in looping script. The hollow flared green, sealing the pact. Ink burned into her palm. A neural brand for authenticity. Run barked a laugh. Fitness dubious. Human flesh yields too easily. I schedule. Evaluation. Live fire drill. Now. Mara met his gaze. Ready. Elira raised a clawed hand. Proceed. Prove your worth, Sergeant. Guards herded them to the bunker's lower range, a cavernous tunnel lined with target drones and force field emitters. Hollow barriers flickered to life, simulating urban ruins. Rune handed Mara a standard-issue pulse rifle. Alien design, lighter, with recoil dampeners. She hefted it, sighted down the barrel. Balance off, but workable. Jay lingered at the edge, scanning vitals on his wrist pad. Don't push the ribs. Adrenaline crash incoming. Focus on your lanes, Mara muttered. Rune activated the sim. Drones whirred alive. 20 Scarvex hunter bots, insectoid frames bristling with stingers. They swarmed from simulated alleys, plasma bolts sizzling the air. Mara dove into motion. First bolt scorched her shoulder pauldron. New burn layered on old. She rolled, fired twice. 2 drones exploded in sparks. Rune watched from the overlook, arms crossed, sloppy form. Humans break under sustained fire. A drone flanked her. Stinger grazed her calf, injecting neurotoxin. Legs went numb to the knee. Mara gritted teeth. Ignored it. Aimed center mass. Boom. Wreckage clattered. Pain bloomed in her side. Cracked ribs shifting. She pushed up, sprinted, cover to cover. Bolt clipped her helmet, visor cracking. Vision blurred from sweat and blood. Courtiers peered from viewports. Illyra stood motionless, eyes locked. 5th drone latched onto her back. Claws punched through armor gaps. Mara slammed elbow back. Crunch. It detached. She spun, emptied the clip. Last 3 drones vaporized. Timer beeped. Clear. Mara stood amid smoking husks. Rifle lowered. Breath ragged, but posture held. Blood trickled from fresh wounds. She faced the overlook. Rune descended the stairs. Scanned her with a handheld Auspex. Tox levels critical. Ribs displaced further. How? Endure, Mara said. Mission first. Jay jogged up, hypospray ready. Told you. Stubborn. Illyra entered the range, robes swirling. Her guards parted. Impossible. Our warriors evacuated half this damage. You fight poisoned, fractured. Mara wiped blood from her lip. Standard up for us. Seen worse. Marshal Kethvaro slithered in behind the queen, his serpentine form coiled, eyes hooded. Alliance War Marshal, Illyra's strategic advisor. Impressive parlor trick, Sergeant. But the Scarvex offensive escalates. Human endurance wastes on rearguard. Assign her to probes. Expendable. Rune nodded agreement. She guards the queen. Risky. Illyra silenced them with a gesture. She signed the oath. Her resilience bolsters our line. Sergeant Vance remains at my side. Keth's coils tightened. Majesty, intelligence reports internal fractures. Scarvex infiltrators in our ranks. Humans draw them. Your safety. Debate later. Illyra cut in. Vance, report to medical bay. Then my flank. Jay jabbed the hypospray into Mara's neck. Cool rush spread. Numbing edges. Ribs'll hold. A Keth sniffing power. Watch him. Mara nodded, eyes on the marshal. His gaze slid away too quick. Hours later, patched and re-armored, Mara shadowed Illyra through command corridors. Holomaps flickered. Scarvex forces massing at the Alliance perimeter. Red icons pulsed. Suspected breaches. Alarms wailed. Infiltration alert! Guards swarmed. Rune bellowed orders. A side passage erupted. 2 Scarvex saboteurs, cloaked in shimmer fields, lunged at Illyra. Mara shoved the queen behind a console. Drew sidearm. First shot shattered a saboteur's mandible. It sprayed acid, eating her gauntlet. Second saboteur fired. Plasma bolt punched her thigh. The shrapnel wound reopened. Mara staggered, fired blind, hit. Rune finished it with a lance thrust. He stared at Mara. Leg buckled, but she covered Illyra's retreat. Flank secure. Mara reported. Blood pooled at her boot. Illyra emerged, untouched. You took the hits meant for me. Job, Mara said. Keth arrived late, feigning shock. Guards failed. Human luck. Rune grunted. No luck. She endured. Illyra's eyes gleamed. Trust forms in fire. You have earned yours, Sergeant. Mara straightened through the pain. Jay appeared, hauling her to medbay. But as they passed Keth, Mara caught his whisper to an aide. Accelerate. The probes. Humans first. Alliance fractures deepened. Scarvex clawed inside. Mara's watch just began. The training round slammed into Mara's ribs like a hammer on steel. She kept moving. Heavier gravity clawed at her boots, each step twice the weight of standard. Air rasped thin in her lungs, thinner than mountain peaks on Earth, Rune had bragged. The kill-house maze loomed, narrow corridors of black alloy, pop-up holograms of Scarvex infiltrators flickering to life. Rune's voice boomed from overhead speakers. Survive, human, or prove the martial right. Mara gripped her training rifle tighter. Palace guards lined the observation deck above, mandibles clicking skepticism. Queen Illyra watched from the command perch, her iridescent scales glinting under simlights. Keth Varro lurked at her side, arms folded. First target burst from a side panel. Shimmer-cloaked drone. Mara snap-fired. It shattered. She pivoted left. Gravity dragging like mud. Second round grazed her pauldron, sparking. Pain bloomed hot in her side, but she cleared the corner. Ronsim escalated, walls constricted, air recyclers whining lower. A guard drone lunged low. Mara vaulted. Barely. Boots slamming down. She drove the rifle butt into its core. It popped offline. Pathetic dodge. Rune snarled over comms. Humans break easy. Third hit nailed her ribs again. Training gel burst, bruising bone deep. Breath hitched. She didn't drop the weapon. Rifle stayed locked in scarred knuckles. She sighted the next target. 2 drones, crossfire angles. Fired twice. Both down. Sweat stung her eyes. Gravity pulled harder. Rune's override, no doubt. Corridors twisted into a kill-box funnel. Air thinned to wheeze. Vision edged gray. "Evaca!" Keth called from above. "She's liability." Elias silenced him with a raised claw. "Watch," Mara pushed. A drone clipped her helmet seal. Air whistled out, sharp hiss through cracked visor. O2 alarms blared in her ear. Lungs burned. She slammed a knee into the drone, fired point blank. Last target. Course cleared. Timer beeped. Record time. Adjusted for gravity. She staggered to the exit hatch. Guards stared. Rune dropped from the deck, lance in grip. Seal breach. Medevac now. His mandibles flared distrust. Mara ignored him. Knelt, yanked a patch kit from her belt. Fingers numb from low O2. Peeled the nano-seal. Pressed it over the crack. He stopped. She sucked air. Stood. Rifle still in hands. No evac. Voice steady. Job's not done. Rune's eyes narrowed. You wheeze like dying vermin. Fold. She met his gaze. Test me more. J-Hope burst through the side door. Medkit slung. Human medic's boots echoed. Vance, sit your ass down. Cracked ribs, hypoxia. Later. Mara waved him off. Queen cycle starts now. Illyra descended the ramp, robes whispering. Gods parted. Keth trailed, expression sour. Sergeant Vance, Irere's voice cut precise, like blade on silk. You endured what breaks my elite. Gravity at 1.8 G. Oxygen at 14%. Training rounds calibrated lethal to your mass. Mara shrugged through the throb. Standard drill. Patch holds. Rune grunted. She cheats pain. Not natural. Natural enough. Illyra turned to him. Commander, reassign your palace wing to Sergeant Vance's control. Next security cycle. She leads. Rune stiffened. Majesty. Now. Illyra's gaze pinned him. Trust forms in fire, as I witnessed corridors ago. Her fire burns longest. Guards murmured. Keth stepped forward. A rash choice. Humans expend well in front lines, not command. Illyra whirled. Marshal, your probes delay our flanks. Scarvex mass at perimeter. Sergeant Vance holds my shadow. Debate later. Mara nodded to the Queen. Took point as Illyra swept out. Rune's squad fell in behind. 6 armored guards. Lances humming. Jay jogged up, injecting a pain broker mid-stride. Stubborn idiot, Jay muttered. Ribs are mush. Walk it off. Mara scanned corridors. Holomap still pulsed red. Breaches widening. They hit the outer ring. Alarm spiked again. Fresher wail. Perimeter compromise! Run barked positions. Mara waved her new squad left, covering Illyra's flank. A service grate exploded. Scarvex probe drone reel 1. Acid-dripping mandibles scuttled out. Mara fired first. Acid splashed her boot, eating sealant. She stomped it flat. Guards speared the remnants. Good kill, Run admitted. Low. More grates rattled. Illyra's claw guards formed wedge. Mara pushed ahead, ribs screaming under vest. Jay patched a boot on the fly. 2 more drones. Vector 090, Mara called. Her squad reacted, flawless, under her lead. They cleared the wing. Illyra paused at a secure vault. Sergeant, your endurance bridges doubts. But Keth maneuvers. He feeds probes intel. Suspect his aides. Mara glanced back. Keth's silhouette vanished around a bend. Seen it. He'll test harder. Jay snorted. Politics or plasma, same triage. Rune clapped Mara's shoulder. Gentle. For him. Lead on. Human. We follow. Cycle spun into hours. Mara rotated watches, drilling Rune's squad in human breach tactics. Low-profile crawls, ignore pain rushes. Guards adapted fast. Their precision meshed with her grit. Dawn cycle broke. Perimeter feeds lit. Scarvex offensive cresting. Massive hull breaches. Alliance ships recalled. Illyra convened war council. Mara stood at her wing. Rune beside. Keth argued loud. Sacrifice human liaisons to plug gaps. Proven expendable. Mara leaned in. No. Joint hold. My endurance. Your lances. Illyra nodded. Sergeant commands forward guard. Prove the marshal wrong. Keth's eyes flashed malice. As you wish. But probes find weakness. Dismissed. Mara geared for breach. Jay fitted fresh seals. Keth's whispering to Rune's second. Watch flanks inside too. Rune overheard, mandibles tight. My squad's yours. No betrayal. First breach hit like thunder. Scarvex boarding pods slammed hull. Alarms screamed. Mara led charge. Rune 6 at her back. Illyra secured rear. Pod cracked. Scarvex warriors poured. Chitin-armored plasma whips cracking. Mara took first lash across chest plate. Scorched. she charged, rifle barking. Drop 2. Gravity fluctuated. Sabotage. Air thinned again. Her ribs ignited. Guards faltered. One downed, whip coil crushing thorax. Push! Mara roared. Ignored the burn. Grabbed fallen lance. Thrust deep. Scarvex reeled. Rune speared beside her. Impossible! You bleed, yet fight! Endure, she gasped. Squad rallied. They sealed the pod. Elira's voice crackled comms. Flank 2 breached. Marshall sector. Mara sprinted, limping, breath whistling anew. Found Keth's line crumbling. His aides faltered, probes swarming suspiciously thick. Keth yelled retreat. Mara barreled in. Hold! Plasma grazed her arm. She patched seal mid-fire, dropped 3 probes. Run squad plugged gaps. Keth glared. Human interference. Results. Mara shoved past, lancing the Queen's path clear. Elira arrived untouched. Witnessed Keth's aides dragging feet. Treason simmers, Marshal. Sergeant Vance assumed full palace guard. Keth recoiled. Overreach! Fact! Elira alarms wailed through the palace bunker. Low priority chime. Ventilation maintenance cycle. Mara Vance's gut twisted. The rhythm drifted. 2 seconds off. Repeating. Cover signal. She snapped her rifle up. Bomb! Down. Queen Elira's sail froze mid-stride, her iridescent robes swirling. Mara lunged, grabbed the Queen's slim arm, yanked her behind the nearest blast baffle, a slab of reinforced alloy jutting from the corridor wall. Elira's compound eyes widened, mandibles parting in shock. Run! Mara barked into comms. Lock down corridors. Now! Sabotage in vents. Commander. Runtel's voice crackled back, edged with chitin-clack urgency. Human, you overstep. Move! Mara's boots scraped ferrocrete as she scanned vents overhead. Air recyclers hummed wrong, too steady, masking a pulse. Her scarred ribs throbbed from the earlier breach, but she ignored it. Breath hissed through her rebreather seal. Jay's patch job held. Guards scrambled. Rune squads sealed bulkheads with a series of hydraulic thumps. Elira pressed against the baffle, her elongated fingers clutching a ceremonial blade. Sergeant, explain. Timing's off. Enemy signal. Mara slapped her helmet scanner active, traced the drift to a junction panel 20 meters down the dim corridor. Red hazard lights pulsed. Detonator line. Stay put. She broke. Cover. Rifle lead. Sprinted low. A grate rattled above. Dust sifted. Mara dove as shrapnel pinged off her plate. Fragment grenade? No blast followed. Decoy. Rune's voice boomed. Vance! Flank secured. Probes inbound from service tunnels. Copy. Cutting the snake. Mara reached the panel. Ripped it open with gloved hands. Metal tore like foil. Wires snaked inside. One glowing faint blue. Detonator feed. Her field knife flicked out. Sliced clean. Sparks died. The alarm chime stuttered. Silent. Silence crashed in. Mara exhaled. Ribs screamed, but she straightened. Clear. Elira emerged, flanked by Rune. The Queen's gaze locked on the severed wire. You detected this from rhythm alone. Trained for it. Mara sheathed the knife. Wiped sweat from her brow. Jay's voice cut comms. Status? Your vitals are spiking, Sergeant. Pop a stim if needed. Negative. Hold position. Mara eyed Rune. His mandibles flexed, doubt cracking. Your vents, your protocols. I just read the beat. Footsteps echoed, heavy, armored. Marshal Kethvaro stormed the corridor early, his war marshal entourage in tow. Probes hovered at his flanks, thicker than regulation. Queen Illyria. What chaos! Illyria turned, regal poise unbroken. Assassination averted, Marshal, by Sergeant Vance. Keth's multifaceted eyes narrowed on Mara. Protocol violation. Human breached secured panels without clearance. She endangers us all. He gestured sharply. Custody. Now. Rune hesitated, lance half raised. His squad shifted uneasy. Mara stepped forward, rifle slung, but hands ready. Try it. Keth's aides bristled. Chitin plates rattling. Probes whirred closer. Scanners locking. Insolence! Rune, enforce! The commander glanced at Illyria. She raised a hand. Stand down, Marshal. Sergeant Vance saved my life. Again. She's a liability. Keth snarled. Humans endure pain, yes, we saw, but they lack discipline. This cut-first method invites Scarvex infiltration. Mara's lips thinned. Pain lanced her side. Old whip burn reopening under strain. She didn't flinch. Results speak. Your sector crumbled earlier. Mine holds. Keth loomed. Twice her height. You question command. I maneuvered the breach to test alliances. Probes confirmed no treason. Yet your interference muddies data. Illyria's voice sliced cold. Test? With my life? Your probes swarmed thick, Marshal. Explain. Keth faltered. Strategic probes, my queen, to assess human limits. Rune's mandibles clicked. Limits. She cut the line blind. My techs would scan hours. Mara felt eyes on her. Queen. Commander. Even Keth's aides. Her arm seal hissed faint. Plasma graze from before weeping. She ignored it. Pressed the breach point. Scan later. Fight now. A low rumble shook the bunker. Distant booms. Scarvex rams hitting outer hulls. Comms lit. Multiple breaches. Marshal's outer line folding. Keth whirled. Impossible. My projections. Move. Mara shouldered past. Grabbed Illyria's arm again. Gentler this time. Breach. Path to core bunker. Rune. Diamond on Queen. Jay's. Medevac route. Jay's grunt. On it. Steaming coming. Don't argue. They ran. Quarters narrowed. Red lights strobing. Scarvex probes buzzed ahead. Keth's strategic swarm turning feral. Hijacked. One latched Mara's boot. She stomped it, crunching. Another dove at Illyria. Mara swatted it midair, knife flashing. Sparks flew. Rune speared a third. Your knife work, precise. Endurance tool. Mara gasped. Ribs fire now. Blood slicked her arm, but grip held. Illyria matched pace, robes hiked. You bleed freely, Sergeant. No falter. Human normal. Mara shoved her through a hatch. Sealed it. Boom sneered. Keth lagged, yelling into comms. Reroute reserves. Probes. Purge. His bone swarm turned. One probe needler fired, grazed his pauldron. He staggered. Aides dragged him back. Traitor tech, Rune growled. Your probes, Marshal! Keth spat compound Ica. Hijack. Vance, you brought this. Shove it! Mara patched her arm mid-stride, Jay's field kit slapping on. Seal hissed tight. Pain dull to roar. She led the core bunker. Bulkheads groaned under ram impacts. Inside, Jay waited. Med station primed. Sit, Sergeant. Queen first. Illyra waved him off. Her first. She shields me. Mara dropped to a crate. Jay peeled seals. Ribs cracked again. Burn infected. Stim in. Needle bit. Fire surged. Then clarity. Rune posted guards. Eyed Mara. You fight through what kills us. Why hide it? Didn't hide. Mara stood, tested weight. Just did. Keth burst in, aides hauling probes wreckage. Queen, recall Vance. She's compromised our net. Illyra faced him. Mandibles set firm. No. Sergeant Vance commands Palace Guard permanent. You, Marshal, under review. Your tests nearly killed us. Keth recoiled, eyes darting. This undermines war effort, strengthens it. Illyra turned to Mara. Lead breach response. Prove me right. Mara nodded. Rifle up. Hull shuddered. Scarveck's boarding claws screeching closer. Run. Flanks. Jays. Triage. Keth follow or fall back. He glared but fell in. Mara kicked the hatch. Charged into thunder. Whips cracked. She took a lash across thigh plate. Scorched deep. Ignored. Rifle barked. Drop the lead, Scarvex. Rune flanked. Lance thrusting. With you. Iller's voice behind. Humans endure. We adapt. Probes swarmed renewed, Keth's lingering floor. One burrowed Mara's shoulder guard. She ripped it free. Blood spraying. Knife gutted the next. Pain blurred vision, but legs pumped. Squad rallied. Illyra directed fire. Precise, alien synergy. They sealed the ram breach. Scarvex reeled back. Explosions rocked the bunker. Ceiling panels buckled. Mara braced against the bulkhead as dust choked the air. Exits gone, Rune shouted, his lance scraping debris. Alarms wailed. Scarveck's artillery pounded the surface seals. Mara scanned the schematic on her wrist pad. Main hatch buried under rubble. Service tunnels branched below. Narrow, uncharted veins through the palace underbelly. Map flashed red. Route impossible. Flooded sections. Structural fails. No vehicle fit. Foot evac only. Tunnels. Now. Queen first. Illyra's mandibles clicked sharp. Sergeant commands. She gripped her command scepter. Honor banner furled at her side. Rune posted guards at the access grate. Jay slung medkits. Eyes on Mara. You're leaking from that shoulder. Patch later. Keth pushed forward. Aides clustering. Madness. Tunnels collapse under our weight. Humans expendable. Send Vance ahead. A scout. His voice sliced through the din. Eyes locked on Illyra. Mara ignored him. Rifle slung. She dropped to the grate. Prybar wrenched it free. Stairs plunged into gloom. Flanks tight run. Jay's rear guard. Move. First guard descended. Mara followed, boot testing slick rungs. Shells hammered closer. A direct hit vaporized the upper hatch. Flames licked down. Guards coughed, mandibles fluttering. Illyra descended last, banner standard handed off. For the veil, she murmured. Tradition bounded high even in retreat. Tunnel narrowed. Mar led at point-act light, cutting shadows. Air grew dank. Walls weeping moisture. Pipes hissed steam. Pace even. Conserve air. Her thigh burn throbbed from the lash, but stims held. Behind, Rune's squad clanked. Lances magnetized to harnesses. Keth's voice echoed from mid-column. This delays counterstrike. Queen, my probes cleared a surface vent, but tremor cut him. Ceiling groaned. Mara froze. Halt! Crack split the floor ahead. Water geysered up, cold and black. Flooded conduit. Map hadn't lied. Current roared, sucking at edges. Guards recoiled, crests flattening in panic. Back, one yelped. Illyra pushed through. Forward, or died buried. Mara dropped to knees, tested the lip leg, plunged in knee-deep ice. She yanked back, boot filled. Single file. Harnesses link. Run tossed lines. Guards clipped in, but hesitation rippled. Their biology hated subversion. Membranes clogged. Lungs faltered. Another shell. Tunnel bucked. Mara lunged across first water to waist. Current clawed. She anchored on far ledge. Hold line taut. Rune! Next! He crossed, lance probing. Squad trickled over, slow, cursing in clicks. Keth lingered. Sergeant endangers the queen. I protest. His aide slipped. Guard tumbled into flood. Current yanked him under. Screams bubbled. Mara dove, grabbed flailing crest. Water-burned eyes. She locked arm under his chin, kicked against drag. Lung screamed, leg twisted on submerged grate. Crack. Pain lanced white-hot. Fibula snapped. She surfaced, holding guard to ledge. Got him! Rune pulled them both up. Mara collapsed, leg ballooning. Jay splashed over. Fracture. Clean break. Mara gritted teeth. Nodded. Ripped pant leg. Yanked splint straps from kit. Field fix. Aligned bone. Strapped tight over knee. Pain blurred edges, but stim fog sharpened focus. Tested weight. Stood. Limp severe, but bore it. Guard stared. Illyra's eyes gleamed in taxing light. You carry our fallen. Through agony, we drown in. Team intact. Mara gripped rifle. Pace, mind, follow. She set out, hobble forcing rhythm. Each step ground bone ends. Sweat stung shoulder wound, but she pushed. Column matched. Run at flank. Illyra mid. Keth sidled close. Whispered to aid. Mara caught the glance. Sabotage. Probes earlier. His flaw invited Scarvex. She lobbed it silent. Eyes front. Tunnel forked. Left. Dry, but map warned cave in. Right. Deeper flood. Right. Rune protested. Currents shred us. Mara tested. Shallow ahead. Trust. She waded in, water chest high now. Leg screamed but dragged forward. Guards linked tight. Halfway, pipe burst. Steam scalded. A guard shrieked. Blistering crest. Mara shoved him ahead. Breathe shallow. Illyra directed from behind. Precise calls on footing. Alien senses piercing murk better than human eyes. Ket's aide fumbled. Harness line slackened. Mara whipped around. Tighten. Too late. Gap widened. Scarvex drone whirred from grate ahead. Ket's probe signature pulsing. Betrayal confirmed. It spat acid. Mara fired. Bolt splashed drone. But acid hit her splinted strap. Leg buckled full. She collapsed into current hauling. Illyra's line by instinct. Queen yanked back. Mandibles locked on her own guard's harness. "Vance!" Rune lanced the drone. Jay swam up, stim needle piercing Mara's neck, mid-drag. Fire coursed. Mara surged. Grabbed ledge, one-handed, leg dangling useless. Up! She boosted the nearest guard, Benilira. Queen crested, scepter raised, not in command, but defiance. Last out. Keth. He clung back, eyes wide. The drone. Malfunction. Logged. Mara hauled herself up, Jay bracing her good leg. Splint retied, hasty. She stood, column reformed. Dry section ahead, double time. Gods murmured. Rune clapped her shoulder. Gentle, respecting grip. Human bone breaks. You do not. Illyra faced Keth. Your tests end here, Marshal. Under arrest, on emergence. Keth paled. AIDS. Silent. Mara led on. Leg fire matched heartbeat. Tunnel lightened. Exit grate ahead. But sensors pinged. Scarvex breach teams converging. Surface guns silent. Alliance cracking inside. She kicked grate. Daylight. Stabbed. Ruins sprawled. Palace fallen. Enemy skimmers hummed close. Form wedge. Queen center. Rifle barked first shot. Guards rallied seamless. Ilrila lowered her honor banner herself. Folded it tight. No symbols now. Only survival. She fell in beside Mara, plasmacaster humming. Scarvex charged. Mara limped forward, pace unbroken. Pain was fuel. They met the wave head-on. Jay Holt slammed the cargo bay door shut. Drones whined outside, plasma bolts sizzling against the hull. He dragged a crate forward, flipped it into a makeshift table. "Clinic's open, Sergeant." "Sit." Mara Vance eased onto the crate, leg throbbing like a live wire. Ruins smoked beyond the bay slits. Scarvex skimmers circled their crashed transport. Guards barricaded entrances. Illyra stood center, scepter scanning feeds. Rune barked orders. Kethvaro slunk in shadows, wrists bound by his own aids. Pain clawed Mara's thigh. Shrapnel from the great kick. She gritted teeth. Jay knelt, kit open. Full sedation. "You crash for hours." Mara thrust her arm out. "Do it fast." Jay nodded. Needle bit vein. Local numbed the leg surface. He sliced skin with a vibroscalpel. Blood welled. Mara locked eyes on Illyra. Queen directed fire teams. Mandibles clicking precise commands. Drones hammered the bay. Hull groaned. "Shrapnel's deep," Jay probed. Fingers dug in. Metal grated bone. Mara hissed. "No thrashing. Breathe steady." Pain sharpened focus. Guards glanced over. Rune paused mid-reload. Illyra's compound eyes fixed on Mara. Jay twisted. Chunk popped free, jagged, glowing hot. He dropped it in a pan. Sizzle. Nicked femur. Tough break. Sealant gun hissed. Foam expanded, knitting tissue. No full meds. Mara flexed toes. Felt the burn rebuild. Stretcher rest. 12 hours minimum. Jay's tides splint tight. Mara stood. Weight hit leg. Fire lanced up. She stepped forward. Perimeter's hot. Drones vectoring breach teams. Jay blocked her. "Orders, Sergeant. You're benched." Alarms blared. Sensors lit. Scarvex drop pods inbound. Illyra spun. Vance. Status functional. Mara shouldered rifle, limped to slit window. Drones swarmed, 6 cloaked. Guards fired bursts. 2 down. Hull breach imminent. Rune snarled. Human stays back. We hold. Mara ignored. Cracked door. Slid out low. Leg dragged, but pace held. Drones buzzed close. She rolled behind slag heap. Aimed. Rifle cracked. Drone shattered. Mid-dive. Gods cheered faint through comms. Point's mine. Mara advanced, limping cadence steady. Plasma scorched air. She fired precise. Another drone plumes. Scarvex infantry dropped from pods. Chiton armor gleaming. Mara met first wave. Bayonet thrust. Alien screeched, gutted. Guards poured out. Rune flanked her. Reckless. Effective. Mara pivoted. Leg buckled once. Caught balance. Fired hip shot. Scarvex crumbled. Illyra's plasma caster hummed beside. Queen blasted 2. Flank left. They pushed. Mara took point, dictating fire lanes. Pain fueled rhythm. Each step a hammer blow. Ignored. Drones scattered. Last pod smoked. Guards mopped remnants. Back in bay, Jay sealed wounds on Illyra's arm guard. Told you. Stubborn. Rune faced Mara. Public guards watched. He raised fist to brow. Full salute. Sergeant Vance. You lead the night op. Pongcom out. Codes transferred. Chirp confirmed. Perimeter secure under you. Mara nodded. No gloat. Wedge formation. Queen center. Scout drones first. Illyra stepped close. Mandibles parted, slight, rare smile. Humans break. You bend. Endure. Mara checked mags. Leg pulsed, but held. Keth strained bonds. This elevates a beast. My strategies. Silence. Illyra cut him. Your tests fed Scarvex intel. Alliance fractures on your ambition. Sensors pinged anew. Night fell fast. Ruins black. Mara synced codes. Holomap bloomed. Enemy lines converged. Palace core 2 clicks north. Breach teams massed. Surface guns offline. Keth's sabotage confirmed. Move out. Mara led. Limp, masked in dark. Guards fell in seamless. Illyra matched stride, banner stowed. No symbols. Tunnel ruins twisted ahead. Collapsed halls, drone nests. Mara signaled halt. Scout drone deployed. Hers human-sized fist. Buzzed forward. Field-linked helmet. Scarvex patrols. Heavy. Ambush point. She whispered. Suppress. I flank. Run. Gripped her shoulder. Honor in this. They struck. Suppressors barked. Mara Lau crawled pain through rubble. Leg screamed. Shrapnel shifted. Grit teeth. Circled patrol. Knife out. First Scarvex gurgled. Second turned bayonet silenced. Patrol down quiet. Guards advanced. Clean. Illyra nodded approval. Precision beyond bone. Deeper. Drones hunted flanks. One dove Mara. She rolled. Leg twisted wrong. Crack felt deep. Stood anyway. Rifle up or shredded it. Jay calmed. Vital spiking. Extract. Now. Negative. Mara pushed. Column hit. Nexus. Palace vault doors. Scarvex sappers wired charges. Charges live. Illyra warned. Mara charged point. fired full auto sappers scattered, grabbed demo rig. Human fingers worked fast, disarmed core. Boom! Muffled behind, guards breached vault. Inside, Alliance comms array. Keth's aides had keyed at Scarvex freaks. Run bound, last traitor. Codes to you permanent, Vance? Temporary? Mara limped to console, purged logs, relinked guns. Distant thunder, surface batteries roared alive. Scarvex retreated. Holo showed lines cracking. Illyra faced column. Marshal Keth's maneuvers end. Human liaison proven. She extended scepter, touched Mara's chest plate. Trust forged, Keth spat. Expendable meat. Mara turned. Leg fire peaked. She stood tall. We endure. You scheme. Guards dragged him. Dawn cracked ruins. Column emerged topside. Alliance banners rose. Joint now true, but sensors pinged final. Scarvex Queen Beast inbound. Massive. Horde behind. Mara raised rifle. Form up. We hold. Illyra hummed plasma. Together. Pain peaked. Mara smiled, grim. Fuel for the fight. Jays patched her midstand. Insane. Necessary. Needle. Pricked. Stem hit. Mara surged forward. Run synced final. Lead us. Unbreakable. They charged the beast. Mara first. Limp forgotten. Shot sparked. Horde met steel. Leg gave mid-leap. She twisted, air-landed knife first. Chitin split. Beast roared. Guards swarmed. Illyra's caster pierced eye. Victory howl. Mara rose from gore. Leg mangled. Jay dragged her back. Clinic, now. She waved him off. Stood on will. Illyra clasped arm. Impossible resilience. My shield. Trust sealed in blood. Drones circled distant. Night ops echo, but Alliance held. Keth watched chained. Eyes broke. Mara led home, pace unbroken. Enemy broke first. Jay sealed final wounds in bay glow. Sleep now. Mara gripped rifle. Dawn brief. Then, he sighed. Tough bastards. Gods saluted as one. Illyra raised scepter true. Victory to endurance. Ruins quieted. Horde fled. Mara breathed deep. Pain faded to hum. Mission lived. Alliance reborn. Human spark ignited it. Ash choked Mara's throat. As she crested the ridge, she dropped low. Rifle slung tight and slashed her hand in a sharp circle. The mixed squad. 10 alien guards under Commander Roomtel, plus Lieutenant. Jay Hold at her flank mirrored the signal. They flattened into the black drift. Storms our veil, Mara rasped into her comm. Jammer tower dead ahead. Move silent. Rune's voice crackled back, laced with doubt. Visibility 0. Your gestures suffice. Watch and copy. Mara tapped her helmet twice, then pointed forward in staccato bursts. Advance. Low crawl. Freeze. The aliens hesitated, their elongated limbs twitching. One guard, a hulking Zephyri with iridescent scales, fumbled the pattern. Mara grabbed his arm, pressed her gloved fingers into the exact sequence. He nodded, eyes widening behind his visor. Wind howled. Sensors screamed interference. The Scarvex jammer pulsing from the skeletal tower. 2 clicks out. Alliance fleet stalled in orbit without it down. Queen Illyra's orders burned in Mara's HUD. Disable at all costs. Marshal Keth Varro had argued. Expendable drones. Illyra chose the squad. Mara, Jay sidled up medskit, humming. Leg still screaming from the beast fight? Quiet. Mara signaled halt. A patrol drone whirred past, 10 meters off. She held breath. Ash swirled. Drone veered blind. Go. They pushed. Human hand signals cut through the void. No chatter. No tech betrayal. Rune synced first, barking the pattern to his guards in their clicking tongue. They flowed like shadows now. Claws scraping faint, but disciplined. Mara grinned under her mask. Aliens adapted fast when sticks bit. Tower loomed through the gray curtain. Guns swiveling blind. Mara dropped prone at the base perimeter. Breach team. Me, Rune, Jay. Covers hold flanks. Rune crouched beside her. Plasma rifle humming. Your kind rush guns. Tradition demands caution. Tradition loses wars. Mara unslung her breacher shield, compact alloy slab, human-engineered for infantry hell. She hefted the charge pack. Cover me. Guards laid fire. Plasma lanced the storm. Mara charged straight. Storm's roar drowned her boots. A gun turret locked somehow. Barked rounds. Slugs pinged her shield. She barreled into its blind spot, shield absorbing the muzzle flash point blank. Blast hit like a freight train. Heat seared her arm. Shield buckled, hurling her back. Pain exploded. Shrapnel tore through armor at the shoulder. She hit dirt, charge pack clutched tight. Detonator blinked red. Armed. Live. Down! Jay yelled, diving over her. His field scanner whirred. Through and through. You're shredded. Mara gritted teeth. Blood slicked her grip. Tower guns spun toward them. Rune's squad poured fire, but the jammer's pulse jammed their aim. She rolled up, world tilting, arm dangled useless. Not done. You pop an artery. Jay jabbed a coagulant patch. Needle bit deep. Stim, flooded veins. Save it! Mara slammed the detonator sequence. Charges primed. She staggered forward, shield raised one-handed. Another burst shredded the air. Slug clipped her thigh. Old wound reopened. Leg buckled. She drove on, endurance kicking in. Humans didn't quit. They outlasted. Rune blasted the turret mount. Sergeant, fall back! She planted the first charge at the tower base. Claws clicked. 2 Scarvex drones burst from vents, blades whirring. Guards swarmed them. Mara ignored the melee, slapped second charge. Pain blurred edges. Vision tunneled. Third charge. Core access. A drone lunged. Jay's shotgun blasted it midair. Move! Mara thumbed activate. Beeps accelerated. She yanked the core override. Jammer whined down. Charges. Live. Pull out. Squad retreated. Tower erupted behind. Fireball punched the ash sky. Mara collapsed at the ridge, breath ragged. Jay knelt, sealing wounds with hasty sutures. Stubborn idiot. That blast should have cooked you. Rune loomed, staring at her mangled arm. You walked into guns. Held the device through fire. Impossible. Stand it up. Mara pushed up, leg protesting. Comms. Cleared. Fleet chatter exploded in her ear. Illyra's voice cut through. Sergeant Vance reports jammer neutralized. Fleet, advance. Witness human resolve. Mara's HUD lit with fleet telemetry. Ships surged, but a shadow pinged. Internal breach. Marshal Kefvaro's signature on a rogue channel. Back at Command Nexus hours later, Mara stood rigid in the Queen's chamber. Jay fussed with a regen sleeve on her arm. Wounds knit slow, human flesh mended tough, not fast. Illyra perched on her throne dais, scepter glowing. Rune flanked her, guards at attention. Kefvaro knelt chained in the corner, eyes defiant. "You led through the abyss," Illyra said, voice resonant. The multifaceted eyes fixed on Mara. Signals unknown to us. Endurance beyond measure. The tower falls because you endured. Mara shrugged, pain a dull throb. Squad made it work. Your guards held fire true. Rune inclined his head. We followed. Learned. Illyra rose. Hollow projector flared. Broadcast to the fleet. Mara's charge run replayed. Shield blast. Charges planted amid gore. Gasps echoed from distant feeds. Behold the unbreakable. Sergeant. Vance turned storm to spear. Humans prove alliance steel. Fleet channels roared approval. Zethari captains pledged flanks. Human liaisons synced ops. Keth sneered from chains. Luck. Drones would suffice. Humans expend. Silence. Illyra's scepter flared. You schemed delay. Jammer stood by your caution. No more. She turned to aides. Marshal Varro, strict of authority. Confined to quarters. Operational command to Roomtel, advised by Vance. Keth lunged. Guards pinned him. Madness. They break under true war. Mara met his glare. We break last. Illyra clasped Mara's good shoulder. Gentle. Firm. My shield endures. Fleet moves as one. Run saluted. Lead us, Sergeant. Mara nodded. Pain hummed low. Trust forged in ash. But sensors pinged anew. Skarvek's counteroffensive massing. Enemy within stirred. Jay muttered at her side, "Round 2. She gripped rifle. All ways, dawn brief loomed. Alliance banners flew higher. Mara stepped out, squad forming. Storm scars marked her, but stride held steady. Guns waited. She walked toward them. Mara shoved the council chamber doors wide. Pain lanced her shattered knee with every step. She gripped the data chit. Skarvek's encryption keys ripped from a dead command node. Blood slicked her fingers. Zethari aides recoiled at the stench of charred alien hide clinging to her armor. Counselors turned. Queen Illyra straightened on her throne dais. Roontel, Palace Guard commander, narrowed his eyes from her flank. Holomaps flickered across the vaulted room, red enemy swarms pulsing on the flanks. Codes. Mara thrust the chit toward Irira's nearest aide. Her voice rasped. Full frex, jam their drones. Now. The aide snatched it, mandibles clicking in shock. Mara swayed. Vision tunneled, black at the edges. She locked her good knee. Not yet. Illyra leaned forward, multifaceted eyes gleaming. Sergeant Vance, speak the breach. Flank breach sealed. Squad took the node. Your heavies covered the push. Mara's breath hitched. Plasma burns wept across her ribs. Enemies blind 10 minutes. Hit them. Counselors murmured. Aides plugged the chit into the central console. Holomap shifted. Skarvek's signals scrambled to static. Cheers erupted from linked fleet channels. Rune stepped closer, scanning her wounds. You carried this through kill zone. Alone? Squad backed. Mara forced a nod. Jay patched mid-fire. Then her knee gave. She crashed to the polished floor, rifle clattered free. Stars exploded in her skull. Boots thudded around her. Jay Holt burst through the doors, medkit banging his thigh. "Clear! She's mine, Lieutenant." Holt dropped beside her, hyperspray hissing into her neck. Pain dulled to a roar. Mara blinked up at vaulted ceilings etched with Zethary war friezes. Illyra's silhouette loomed. "Human endures." Elira's voice cut the babble. "Council, honor this shield." A High Counselor, frills flaring, produced a gleaming metal orb. As useful asset, Sergeant Vance merits the Thorn of Service. Expendable valor, proven. Mara pushed Jay's hands away. She levered up on scorched elbows. "No." Silence crashed down. Rune's hand twitched toward his blade. Jay snorted, staunching a gash on her thigh. Illyra raised a crystal scepter. Light pulsed along its facets. "The thorn diminishes. She is no asset. Sergeant Mara Vance, sworn shield of the crown. Bind her oath." Counselors hissed protest. Tradition bars humans from. Tradition bends. Illyra's gaze pinned them. "She bled for our line. Oath now." Rune knelt, offering a silver vambrace etched with Zethary runes. "Kneel, Sergeant, or refuse Queen's grace." Mara met his eyes. Distrust lingered there. Human methods too reckless, too raw. She ignored the vambry, grabbed her rifle instead, rose on Jay's shoulder. "Pass," her voice carried. "No titles. Give me evac stretchers for your wounded." Zethary troops clog medbays. Humans haul double. Prioritize them. Gasps rippled. Aides exchanged glances. Rune's mandibles parted. "You reject shield bond? For litters?" Jay chuckled low. "Sergeant style. Patch and push." Counselors buzzed. "Insolence. Humans demand above station." Illyra silenced them with a gesture, her eyes locked on Mara's. Silence stretched, heavy as hull plating. Mara held steady. Knee throbbed, rib screamed, but she didn't blink. The Queen's frills smoothed. Stretchers. Triple production. Human medics direct evac. No Zatari waits behind meat shield. Aides scrambled to comply. Holoscreens updated. Shuttle manifests reshuffled. Fleet chatter spiked with approvals. Rune saluted Mara crisp. "Your demand wise. Gods yield priority." Mara nodded once. Pain clawed deeper, but she straightened. Trust cracked open here, in the chamber's glow. Illyra rose. Scepter flared. "Scribes, draft joint doctrine. Human endurance anchors Zethary precision. Vance advises core tenets. Fleet adopts by dawn." Cheers thundered from external feeds. Zethari captains hailed the change. Human liaisons patched in, sinking fire plans. But alarms wailed. Consoles blared red. Mara tensed. Jay cursed. "Scarvex counterpush," Rune barked. "Massing coreword." And internal breach. Hollow maps zoomed. Enemy signatures swarmed, not just hulls. Icons blinked traitor. Alliance code spoofed from within. Kethvaro's quarters. Sensors showed guards down, his signal active. The Marshal's voice crackled over open comms. "Hijacked. Zethari faithful." "Humans fracture us. Illyra yields to beasts. Seize command." Counselors froze. Two bolted for exits. Rune's blade sang free. Traitors. Illyra's scepter snapped to Mara's hand. Shield. Secured the traitor. Mara snatched it, heavy, humming with power. She pivoted despite the knee. Jay, cover Queen. Rune, flank, left. Blast of fire erupted from side vents. Keth's loyalists, palace guards turned, carapace cloaks torn free. Bolts scorched the air. Mara dove behind a console. Scepter pulsed, projecting a shield dome over Illyra. Zethary rounds pinged off it. She fired back. 3 rounds, 3 hits. Traitors crumpled. Rune charged right, vibro halberd whirling. He bisected a turncoat. Humans fight filthy. Effective. Mara grunted. She crawled forward, knee-dragging sparks, grabbed a fallen traitor's comm. Keth. Stand down. Codes are live. Your jam's burned. Laughter barked back. Fool meat. Drones inbound. Illyra falls. I rule. Jay hypoed her ribs mid-fire. Move! Stretchers later. Mara surged up. Shield dome flickered as scepter overheated. She hurled it at the vent cluster. Explosion ripped open bulkheads. Keth's signal cut. Guards swarmed in. Loyal now, Rune bellowing orders. They dragged Keth's body from the smoke. Chest cored by drone shrapnel. Eyes wide. Illyra stepped from cover, unscathed. She retrieved her scepter. Nodded to Mara. Doctrine proven. Endurance shields. Mara slumped against a pillar. Jay slapped a field cast on her knee. Fleets pinging. Scarvex hitting evac lanes. Rune synced his comm. Zethari heavies reposition. Humans lead breach. Mara gripped rifle. Together. Council doors buckled under fresh blasts. Enemy breached the outer ring. Illyra's voice rang fleet-wide. All forces, Vance's charge. Unbreakable line. Mara pushed off the wall. Squad icons blinked on her HUD, forming up outside. Pain hummed, but stride locked in. Stretchers wheeled past. Zethari wounded first. Trust sealed in fire. But Keth's lost drone pinged live. Deep in the core, enemy within, clawing free.